Let's get an update now to SABC News Correspondent Alex Cadier. Alex, thank you so much for your time. I mean, things were looking tough at some stage. Has the situation improved?
Not yet is the long and short of it. We know that the discussions are ongoing, according to Egyptian officials, security officials, who say they are talking to both sides. Those mediating countries, Qatar, the United States, Egypt, are still intensifying their efforts to try and get the deal. But the deadline of the start of the holy month of Ramadan, that March 10th deadline set by the Israelis, has been and gone, which could lead into the Israeli operation in Rafah, that city in the south of Gaza, previously marked as a safe zone where more than around 1.5 million Palestinians have sought refuge. That military operation vehemently opposed by the United States, Joe Biden calling it a red line. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, saying we will go in, and there is no international pressure that could stop Israel from going into Rafah. He has the support of Israelis in that, but certainly that tension coming out of that military operation in Rafah could spill over even here in the ancient city of Jerusalem.
And what happens then, especially when you think about the people that would want to be going for their evening prayers?
Yeah, well, certainly that will be a big question. We saw yesterday clashes between worshippers, tens of thousands of worshippers who come to this city every day to pray during Ramadan at the Al-Aqsa Mosque that you can see behind me. There were clashes between worshippers and police, blocking the path of worshippers to get to the mosque, they say for security reasons, but we saw police beating back worshippers with batons, scenes that the Jordanian foreign minister says could push this city towards an explosion. And you really feel that tension in the air at a moment that should be one of celebration, of family and friends gathering to mark the start of Ramadan. Instead, you have an uneasy, tense and somber mood, a sense of anticipation that things could get a lot worse in this city.
And I suppose then also a lot of focus then towards the negotiation process to see if anything at all can actually be achieved. There were some reports that, you and I have been speaking about some of the sticking points that appear to be on each other's side and each one not moving on some of those sticking points. The prisoner swaps, for example, the end of the war. Let's talk about where are they now in terms of finding each other on those.
Well, we've not heard about any progress on those sticking points, on those negotiations. Most recently, we heard Hamas saying that the deal could not be agreed because Israel would not want to agree to the terms of the end of the war. And that is consistently going to be the biggest problem. Israel's main objective, they said this over and over again, is the complete eradication and destruction of Hamas. We heard Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, today celebrating the fact that Hamas's number 4 had been killed in an IDF operation, and that the Israeli Defense Forces were investigating the possible killing of Hamas's number 2, the deputy commander of the military wing of Hamas. And so those things embolden Israel, and the objective clearly is the eradication of Hamas, which makes it very difficult to negotiate anything with Hamas. So those negotiations still stuck, still not moving forward. Those sticking points we've mentioned before, I'll remind you, the Hamas providing a list of those surviving Israeli hostages being held in inhuman conditions in Gaza. That's something Hamas says they cannot do so long as Israel is bombing Gaza. The other demand by Hamas is that Israel should allow men of fighting age to return to northern Gaza. And again, Israel says absolutely not. And that fundamental issue of ending the war, still a real sticking point here.